Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
Two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Hello, lovely people. I hope you're well. Welcome to another Kop-Ish special. Today we're going to be speaking about the midfielders. But before we get into it, as always, guys, please do smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and as always, make sure you contribute in the comment section. All we ask is that you remain respectful to us and respectful to everyone in the comments. Now, obviously, happy birthday to Mo Salah. Obviously, we weren't able to get him on the show tonight, but we have got the next best Mo. If you follow him on Twitter, you'll know that he's one of the best at what he does. Football finance to a T. Also, he does writing for The Mirror and is a regular on the Anfield Index. We are delighted to be joined by the one, the only Mo Chatra. Mo, how are you doing this evening, bro?
Oh, amazing. Thank you for that introduction. Brilliant. That's just superb. Thank you so much. My head's not going to fit out the door now.
Nice. Brilliant having you on, man. I've followed you for a little while now, and like we've always tried to get like little collaborations going. It's never really synced up, so appreciate you making a time for us and coming on. But I'm going to cut to the chase, Mo, because you are an expert in what you speak about. Money. The biggest thing Liverpool speak about when it comes to transfers. Now, we've obviously gone and splashed the cash for Núñez. However, on everybody's lips is that midfielder, that quality midfielder. First and foremost, in terms of the money we've outlaid so far, do you think that money has been spent up front in terms of trying to recoup that money? Or do you think Liverpool are in a stronger position than they let off to the media and that we believe as fans?
Yeah, good question. So, first of all, Liverpool are in the strongest position financially that they have ever been in. So I tweeted out a few weeks ago that the club was on course to generate a record-breaking turnover for the season just finished of approximately £580 million, which is, right up there with, the biggest clubs in the world. And that is about 50 million higher than we generated in, I think it was 18-19, which is the season when we last won the Champions League. And so, we're generating unprecedented amounts of money, but at the same time, because we haven't spent a lot in the transfer windows since 2018, we don't have as much owing to clubs. And again, this is something I've tweeted about, that, when you hear about transfers, about us signing, like a Jota for about 40 million pounds or a Thiago for 20, these deals are never paid up front. Yeah. They're always paid in installments. So when you hear, for example, we've paid out 64 million for Núñez, it won't be 64 million pounds having been deposited into the accounts of Benfica yesterday. What it would have been maybe about a third of that, which would have been just over 20 million pounds. And so it goes. So what that means is that for transfers that we may have done, last season, obviously the January one with Diaz, season before, there'll be a bit of money owing for those. But the deals that we did back in, say, 2018, your Alissons, your Van Dijks, your Naby Keitas, they've been long paid off. So they have been sorted out. So financially, we're in a great position because a lot of our transfer commitments from a financial nature have already been paid. And that's why we are in a position where we've got more money to spend than we probably ever have.
Very interesting. So another question I want to ask. Obviously, Luis Diaz signed for us in January. Apparently, this was a deal that was, put in place for the summer, but it was moved forward because Tottenham tried to get him, and then Julian Ward put his cards on the table and says, "I'm the big man around here." So, Does that money potentially come out of the transfer budget for what we're seeing now, or is that sort of money there because we did look at him the previous summer, or is it not sort of known yet? And also, was he the Mane replacement before we knew Mane definitely wanted to go?
Well, one of the things that's been widely reported is that he was a target for this summer. And I think that, with Spurs going in for him late in the January transfer window, because he was such a key target for us, we thought, look, we can't hang around. We've got to act now and let's get the deal done. And we did that. So we gazumped Spurs, we upset Mr. Levy, and we got the deal done. So upset the Spurs fans and, a bit of banter with them a lot, which is always fun. And, we got the man and they didn't. So, yeah, it would have potentially been spend that we had planned for this summer. But at the same time, what we wouldn't have anticipated is getting necessarily to the Champions League final. Each year, the finance people at the club will set targets in terms of how much money they'll make. But they wouldn't have budgeted for get all the way to the Champions League final. So they might have budgeted to get to, say, the quarterfinal. So the fact that they got to the final means that more money came in than they'd anticipated for. So that is additional money that they can spend. Was he the Mane replacement? Possibly so. And I think the club likely would have known a good year or so in advance that Mane will have only a year remaining on his contract in summer 22 and will probably want to move on. So I think that was known, but I don't think that necessarily then means that the club has less money to spend this window. And I think the best example and evidence of that is the fact that we were very, very clearly and obviously in the market for Tchouaméni. And we came very close to getting that deal done. According to multiple reports, there was a deal agreed. Personal terms were apparently agreed. There was a deal virtually agreed in principle, even though an offer hadn't been formally made. That's normally something that happens, when we know that the club is open to selling. But obviously, Madrid, being butthurt over missing out on Mbappe, then thought, right, okay, we've got to get some business done now. We're upset. We're really ruined the fact we missed out on our man and we thought we had him. So they went and gazumped us for Tchouaméni. We missed out on him. But what it showed is that, we were very close to getting that deal done. And we were also clearly in the market for Nunez. So we came very close to getting both of the key bits of business done in these opening days of the transfer window. So that should be the evidence that people need that the money is there. And on top of that, we also know that the club is on course to sell a number of players, Mane being one of them. So the money that will be generating this transfer window will again be higher than we've generated for a good 3-4 years.
I knew Real Madrid were hurt. And I knew it. I knew that was why they pay so much for Tchouaméni. I knew it.
So just back on the sort of the money that's been generated, if you can, again for myself as well, because I'm no expert in this, can you sort of compare what that's like to some of the other teams? Obviously, we think of Man United as being this commercial like giant, and then again you've got other teams like your Man Cities and your Chelsea. Maybe not so much Chelsea at the moment, but Man City, who obviously are able to blow most teams out of the water when it comes to money because of how they're run. So in terms of how we're running, the turnover we've just generated, how big is that for us going forward? And is it the end of the quote unquote sell to buy policy?
Yeah, so one of the things that Manchester United, who are our biggest rivals in many ways, have always been successful at is generating money and lots of it. And we've been in their shadow. I mean, you go back only 5-6 years, they were generating a good couple $100 million more than we were. So that's why they were able to pay out, silly money on like Di Maria and others, Alexis Sanchez. They were able to offer somebody like their goalkeeper, who in my opinion is dusted, £350,000 a week in De Gea. These types of deals they're able to do, but they're not sensible. We know they're not sensible with their money. They are very, very wasteful. And they're paid for that now because they missed out on the Champions League. And on top of that, I think that we will be generating, for the season just finished, more money than they have. In the season before that, 2021, we generated almost as much commercial revenue as they did. So, that was the big difference between us and them, that they always generated so much from, official tyre sponsor to official condom sponsor, all sorts of sponsorship.
Well, stay safe on the pitch and off the pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a deal.
I don't know if I'd use one of them. Do they work? I mean,
but any deal that there was to be made, they were there. So, fair play to them. But we are now really getting strong with our commercials. I mean, we've got a really lucrative deal with Nike. And on top of that, we read reports recently that we're going to be replacing our shirt sponsorship deal, which is currently with Standard Chartered. And that will be in all likelihood about 80 mil a year, which will be record setting. No club generates that much from their shirt sponsorship. Not Real Madrid, not Barca, not Man United, nobody. So that shows you the levels we're getting to. And I think that deal will be announced very, very soon in the coming weeks. So, we're in a really, really strong position financially. And again, that is why, I've gone onto Twitter, I think it was a couple of weeks back, and tweeted out about, look, Liverpool are so strong financially, they don't need to, in this summer, necessarily sell to buy, which had been, it appeared, the policy for the last 2 or 3 years, because obviously we were trying to do various things like completing the main stand and whatnot. Yeah. So, and yes, we are constructing the Anfield Road end extension, but as I say, we are generating more money than we ever have. So we're in a position to deliver that and yet invest in the squad and make sure Klopp has the team, the group he needs to go on all fronts again and take City to the limit once more.
Sweet. And then wages, because obviously another contentious thing at the moment is wages. Yeah. It looks as though we're going to be losing Mane, and rumours are that he was unhappy with sort of his salary and what he would have been offered. We all know about the Mo Salah situation at the moment. Now, it's been reported that we have the second highest wage bill in the league. Now, obviously, without going too much into detail, how actually does it work? Is it we actually have the second highest, or we have the second highest if we trigger our bonuses?
Yeah, so it's the latter. It's if we trigger those bonuses, then we end up in that kind of position. Our wage structure is the most heavily incentivized of all of the top Premier League clubs. So what that means is that the more successful we are, the more that our players earn. Now, we will regularly hear about our top players are earning only, he says, about 200,000 a week. Whereas we hear about De Gea earning about 350. We hear about other players at rival clubs earning 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 a week. And we're thinking, why are we paying less than them? And yet, if you look at the overall wage bill, it's up there with all of them. And the reason why is because, yes, our basic levels of weekly wages are lower, but our incentives, our bonus payments are massive. And so, like Mo Salah, for example, we might hear that, his contract is about 200,000 a week, but with all the bonuses that he earns, he's probably been making about 350 to 400,000 a week since he last extended the contract about 3 years ago.
Wow.
So he's been making as good money out of Liverpool as any Premier League player has from any of the rival clubs. But it's just that because our model is based on the more you score, the more you win, the more clean sheets you achieve, the more money you'll make. That is why, we have that kind of wage structure in place. And it works for us clearly because, we've been getting 92 points, 97 points, 99 points, in 3 of the last 4 seasons. And this wouldn't happen, I would argue, without having that kind of incentive. It's dangling that carrot in front of all these players and saying, right, you want to make dough? Okay, score, keep clean sheets, win. And that's proving successful.
All right,
So just quickly, because I don't know if this is going to be one of yours. While we're doing the like individuals, Mo, do you have any idea what Mane's actually on? Because it's been the biggest myth that we've spoken about for like the last year. Do you actually know what Mane's on?
Well, I don't know for a fact. Obviously, it'll be the player, his agent, and those within the club. But my understanding is that his wages are higher than has been reported in a lot of places. A lot of places are reporting that he was on a lot less than Mo, than Van Dijk, even the likes of Milner. But I don't believe that is true. I think that he's actually just below Virgil van Dijk and Mo. I think that those two are the top earners. And then Mane is just below them, along with, I believe, Firmino. So those two are on level money.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably on about 170, 180. Mo and Virgil are on 200. In fact, Virgil might be on more now because
220.
Virgil
220, yeah. And even Thiago as well. I think Thiago was on reported 200. Is it okay? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's on. He's up there as well. And I think that the deal that was offered to Mo might have been 250 to 300. But I think that his agent was maybe pushing for more. And I know that image rights is also something that he owns at the moment, which maybe the club were trying to push for him to do a bit of a deal on. And so, who knows if that deal ever happens? He might go next summer for free and make a massive, signing on bonus with another club. Obviously, we all hope that doesn't happen. We hope he'll extend, but we know he'll be with us for another year. He's already said that. He's come out and said that. So, but all of us will be hoping that he extends for another several more years at least.
Can I quickly just ask, actually, I say the uncomfortable conversation for Liverpool fans, right? As a business, if we was to let Mo Salah not sign this summer and we allow him to go for free, do you think we've made a mistake there? And we maybe should have, if he's given it like an indication by summertime he's not going to sign, do you think Liverpool should then sell him? Like, what do you think a business should do, in your opinion?
Well, the way that a good business is, especially in football, is set up to do is to sell players when they're able to bring in a good amount of value for us. Now, if he goes for free next summer, we make nothing. If we sell him this summer, as painful as it will be, we can possibly generate 80, 90, 100 million pounds. We'd hope, obviously, we can generate even more than that. But, he's 30 years old. He's just got a year left on his contract. And, we're still coming off of COVID. And so, we're not seeing spending levels quite at what they were pre-COVID. So even if it was 80, 90, 100 million pounds, and if he was interested in going, I think that FSG, the owners, would have to give serious thought to selling. And I think in all likelihood, they probably would. And as hard as that might be to hear, that's just good business. And what it means is that Liverpool can then go and find somebody else to replace him, whether it's a Gnabry or, somebody else. There will be options, I'm sure. We have excellent scouting. We have excellent recruitment people. These, boffins that do all the analytics, these astrophysicists and whatever else they are, they will have an extensive network of a list of players that they can potentially go in for. And we're very early into the transfer window. It only started last week. Yeah. So, if there's indications that maybe someone is interested and they're going to offer a reasonable figure for him, then maybe the good business thing to do would be to move him on. And that would be hard to take because obviously he's been golden for us for, the best part of 5 years now. And it'd be sad to lose him and Mane in the same summer. But, all great football clubs, they carry on evolving and moving on. Those clubs that keep on clinging to the past and holding on to their best players until they're past their prime are the ones that then slip by the wayside. So we've seen that before with the likes of United, and we don't want to be one of them. It's all about saying thanks for the memories, but maybe the time is right for both of us to part ways. And it might be this summer, but hopefully not. I think he's still got some more to give for us in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And let's all hope that he gets that deal done. And we don't have to worry about that.
Indeed.
That would be a huge hole to fill.
Yeah.
Mane and Salah in the same summer. That almost seems impossible, if I'm being completely honest. That would be a disaster for me, man.
So, Mo, 2 more questions before we let you go. And again, thanks for coming on. Guys, smash the like button if you haven't already. Mo's Twitter details are in the comments, in the description as well. So make sure you go and follow and support Mo as well.
100%.
With the incentivized contracts, is it going to be harder to keep players past a certain age? Because Mane, Salah, Firmino, if he was ever offered a contract, Virgil could maybe argue with his next contract. They're getting to that age, of that 30-year-old age, where this could potentially be their last big contract. So let's say, for example, it's Mo right now. Even though the incentives have been brilliant up till now, he could be looking at it and saying, well, this is my last big contract. I want a guarantee rather than being incentivized. I could pick up an injury. The team could go through an injury crisis like the season before last, and we could finish or have a chance of finishing outside the top 4. Do you think we'll see that structure broken or adapted potentially because of the success we're seeing and some of the quality players we have getting older in age?
Yeah, I think it's possible we might see it slightly adapted, but I think at the same time that they've got in place. And I think that is part of the reason why we still haven't got a deal over the line for extending Mo. I think if they were a bit more flexible with that, I think they would have already extended by now. That would have probably been done last summer, to be honest. So I think that at the same time, you make a very good point that, when players are getting to the age of 30, and maybe because we know that our system demands a lot of players, Mane, Bobby, Mo, and all the rest of them, they're putting in so much, not only on the pitch, but even in training. They're working really hard in training. They're working really hard in the match days. This will take its toll on players. And we are seeing it already. Bobby, for example, is not the same Bobby of 2018, 2019. And he's been a magnificent servant for us over the years. But when you get to that stage where your minutes are being phased down, your appearances are reducing, your opportunity to score goals and get the goal bonuses and all the other things are drying up, then obviously it's going to hit you in the pocket. And that is, I think, part of the reason why Mane is looking at the situation and thinking, right, they brought in Diaz potentially to replace me. I might be used less frequently. I'm not going to be an automatic starter anymore. And yet he's looking at the buy-in deal where they're offering double the money pretty much from what he's on in terms of his basic wage. He'd be a fool to turn that down. Let's be honest. So, I think that's a situation that we have to face with our players, that when they do start hitting 29, 30, 31, it's less attractive for them to stay on at Liverpool based on the current model. But then what it means is that we have a real incentive to make sure that we keep replacing these players. And our hit rate when it comes to recruitment over the last 5-6 years has been as good as any club in world football.
Yeah.
And so that's why, we're all hoping that, Nunez makes a great start at the club. And, he might not be quite at Mane levels to begin with, but obviously he's young, he's 22, he's got many years to come for Liverpool Football Club. And, I'm sure that in due course, he'll become a great, great player for us.
Cool. And last question before we let you go. If there is one midfielder you could get this summer, one name only, Mo, who would it be and why?
Oh, now you're asking. Okay. I think I've got to go with the man at Dortmund, JB, Jude Bellingham. He's somebody that has all the talent in the world. He's got everything to his locker. Everything's in his locker, I should say. He's got that kind of talent, which can drive a team on when they need it. When we need to be a bit more disciplined and more defensive, he can work in that way as well. He's as versatile a midfielder of that age bracket as there is around. And obviously, we're all disappointed to miss out on Tchouaméni. But, at this moment in time, there are a number of very strong midfielders around, and he is arguably one of the best. And, we've already seen, credible reporters saying, we are interested in this player, but we're looking at him for next year. But tellingly, the same reporters are saying, however, if somebody makes a move for him, that might get us to act in the same way we acted in January and said, no, we want that man. We're not going to let another club take him from us. So I'm still hopeful that we'll move for him, even if it means we have to spend 80, 90 million with Dortmund to get the deal done. I personally think that would probably be worth doing because, if we get him in, he'll serve us for a good 10, 12 years at least. And, just think of that midfield. Fabinho, Thiago, Bellingham. That's as complete a midfield in world football as you'll see.
It's tasty.
And exactly, yeah. And then with a potential Diaz, Nunes, Mo front line. Oh, my word. So,
very tasty. Very tasty.
So Man United, Tottenham, one of you boys, go and make a cheeky bit for Bellingham, I beg you.
But now, Mo, we are going to let you go because you promised us 15 and you've even gone over that. So we really, really appreciate you coming on. Hopefully this isn't the last time because if the comments are anything to go by, they've loved what you've said. They've loved your insight. As I said, I'm a fan of yourself as well. So just tell the people where they can find you and support you, bro.
Yeah, nice one. I really appreciate you having me on the show today. So I'm on Twitter and the Twitter handle is Mo Chatra. And I tweet about, mostly financial stuff relating to Liverpool Football Club. But at least it gives people a better idea about, where things are. Because obviously the finances then affect what we do in the transfer window and what happens ultimately on the pitch. So I think people do find it interesting and useful. Some of my threads go on a little bit. I do ramble on. But it's all to give people as much detail as I think they need to get a better idea about how Liverpool Football Club operates. So appreciate you, all you guys having me on, and hopefully I'll be back.
It's been a pleasure, bro. And that picture behind you or painting is sensational.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's on point, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, bro.
I love it.
Thank you.
Bless you, Mo. Until next time,
Thank
man.
you, Mo.
Take care, man. We'll speak soon.
Cheers.
Big
Take
up,
care,
bro.
Mo.
Big up.
Guys, everyone make sure you go and support Mo. Absolute legend and really grateful that he came on the show.
Amazing.
Like, literally been trying to get Mo on for a little while, and it's not because he's not wanted to. He's just been really busy, or we've not been able to sync up with the amount of games we've had. So shout out to Mo for actually setting his time aside and making it happen. Almost fell through, but pulled it back. But we have got a topic to discuss, and Mo's led us very nicely into it, and it's coincidentally our thumbnail for this video. Midfield Torated. What are we gonna do in midfield? It's all I keep on hearing is midfield. I wake up in the morning, I think, let me check. Liverpool need a midfielder. Let me check. Liverpool are gonna get a midfielder next season. Mateus Nunes, Bellingham, Fabio Vieira, Vitinha, flipping everyone is named under the sun. Bloody man.
You caught me off guard with that one, bro. I wouldn't have took a bite of my sandwich if I knew you was gonna hit me with that, right?
But it's just non-stop. So I think in order for us to know what we need to know what we have first. Can't go and buy stuff for a house unless you know what's in the house first, right? So that being said, I'm gonna bring up a little screen here. Keep, sell, loan, and not sure. So what we're going to do in this section here is literally go through the club centre midfielders and potential midfielders. I'm not going to add Carvalho to this, by the way, because he's just signed. It'd be crazy if we're going to sign him and then opt to sell him. But we're going to go through our midfielders, and we're going to have obviously there's three of us, so
Carl, I was going to say, bro. I was going to say, let's set up the supers so we don't get lost in the subject. Yeah, big up everyone who's supered as well.
Pimp in distress and appreciate the follows. Daddy's always here, Cal. Big up. I had the pleasure of speaking to Pimp.
earlier.
I found you, bro. Me and Pimp couldn't find each other on Twitter.
Yeah, we found each other today.
Yeah, I found you, bro. I found you.
I found you, Pops. I found you, man. Big up Pimp in Distress, man. Froggy says we're 1 summer away from being 2 summers away. We have to take time, no, Froggy. It's very early in the window. We can't lose our heads just yet. The way I look at it, yeah, guys, if Liverpool went 1-0 down in a game after 10 minutes, we wouldn't sit here and say the game's done. So we can't sit here and say the window's done when it's just open. So we got to be patient as much as we can, even though it's difficult to be because we are spoiled fans at the moment because we've enjoyed so much success. Pimp in Distress says, evening G, swear the tone of trade Liverpool press has changed regarding signing centre midfielder. Was LFC weren't in the market. Now say if we move for Bellingham, Klopp will sign him this summer. They've been briefed. They have been potentially. Shout out to Rack as always. Thank you so much for your kind donation. Much appreciated.
That's love.
Big up to brother Ryan LFC in the chat. Make sure you go and check out his channel if you haven't, please, people, and subscribe.
100%.
Pimp in Distress said we found Kopish's CFO. Welcome, Mo. Respect. Hey, do you know what? Mo being on this channel regularly would be sensational. Like, the guy is very busy, so any chance we can get him on will always be a pleasure, and he knows his bloody stuff. Sean Bay says, big up my beautiful brothers. It's been a long time. It has been, Sean Bay. Hope you're well. If I'm not mistaken, I'm seeing a wedding picture here. So if that is the case, then congratulations on the wedding.
Yeah, that looks like a celebration of some kind.
Come on now, come on. Congratulations, and thank you for becoming a member of ours as well. Jamrock says, love that guy, Mo. Listen to him regularly. Fact. Yeah, I knew that would be up your street, Jamrock. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
Jamrock definitely changed his underwear today, definitely.
Yeah, Jamrock, when he saw that, was like, thank God. Finally, they've started to listen to me. Finally. So, yeah.
No, Jamrock, to be fair, a lot of stuff Jamrock has said, Mo just confirmed. So you got to rate Jamrock for that still.
Yeah, obviously, when you've got one CFO, sometimes you still it's like sometimes you got to decorate. You might bring in some new eyes sometimes just to confirm what the first decorator said. So we know Jamrock's the head of finance here. So it is what it is. We just got Mo in for a second set of eyes to look at the account. Gangster Gaming, thank you very much for becoming a member of ours as well. Much appreciated. So hold on, another one here. Shimron said the contents of the continental great guys.
The content of the content is continental great guys. Yeah, big up yourself, bro. A little wordplay there, a little wordplay.
Yeah. I feel it.
Big up everyone who's realised what I'm drinking as well. Ice cold one of these on a hot day is beautiful, for real. Big up everyone who knows. I'm not going to say their name unless they pay me, but
yeah, I'm on the apple. I'm not even on the apple juice. I'm strictly on water at the moment. I've started my weight cut, my diet. So, boy, fun times. Right. So let's get into it then. We're going to start with midfield. Keep, sell, loan, or not sure. Obviously, there's 3 of us in here, so 2 votes wins out. It's about to get techie. Right. So let's start with one that I think will be easy. Fabinho. Keep, sell, loan, or not sure?
Not sure.
Self-explanatory, isn't it? Self-explanatory. Self-explanatory.
We're keeping.
I was ranting, by the way, before anyone thinks I was being serious.
You better hope you don't get clipped up.
That's why I didn't say sell.
You're out here playing games. You better hope you don't get clipped up.
Yeah, playing games, huh? Oh, you want to play?
Mr. Sauce, I'm just going to go ahead and do it to save the conversation.
Yeah, but again, self-explanatory.
All right. Now we're going to start getting to techie areas, I believe. Mr. Henderson.
Oh, come on, man. Self-explanatory. Keep.
We're not going to replace him this summer, so we might as well keep him.
Interesting response, Matt. Interesting response. All right.
Agendas are going to run right through this video.
Naby Keita.
Yeah, so.
Keep, unless we here's the thing, we're not gonna get that much money for him, so keep for now.
Oh, I should have gone first on this one.
I say keep.
I'm
One
not
sec,
sure.
guys. Sorry, one sec.
I'm not sure. So we've all got 3 different answers. So my voting thing completely is just blown up in my face.
Well, now we got to let the people in the chat be the deciding vote then.
If it's a deciding vote, I'm seeing a lot of the S word.
That go.
On a couple Ks now. Couple Ks.
Who's this now?
Nabi, I said I'm not sure. You said keep. Matt said
Yeah.
keep. You said self.
Do you know why? There's a stipulation to it though. All right, let me give you an example.
Hold on, Matt. Not at this stage. We're not doing any stipulation.
Okay, no stipulation.
Yeah,
okay,
just based on whether we should keep them at the club, yes or no.
Keep him.
Drift, no stipulations. Keep or sell.
So
I'm not sure.
Someone said loan. Loan, you know.
I'm gonna go sell. We'll come back to him now.
well played, Cal.
You're number 8, Cal, yeah? All right then.
I knew it was gonna come.
Just saying.
I
What
knew
about
it
you
was
on? What about you on now, Cal? Which one are you
gonna-
on now?
I'm not. I'm in the sea. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio on the iceberg.
Clearly, bro.
I'm,
Alright,
I'm Amber Heard right now. I'm Amber Heard.
I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not
bro,
even.
you never want to be Amber, bro.
You know what it is, yeah. Man's not even
never
mad.
want to be Amber, bro.
Man's not even mad, you know. Man's just disappointed. That's what it is. Just disappointed. I'm just disappointed. All the talk all season, I'm just disappointed. That's all.
Yeah, sometimes it's the saying goes: if you love them, you gotta let them go as well, innit?
No, of course. Because as you said, we can't. You're right. We can't be sentimental. Obviously,
You know, that is the dumbest saying that was ever invented.
can't be sentimental, man.
If you love someone, let them go. What kind of stupid?
No, it's not. You know, Drift. There's certain...
No. If something's not right, for example, but you know what I'm saying, like, but you know, you might love that person, but you're not saying it right, well, you're just gonna stay there because you love them. You just stay there.
No, I think.
Or
that's
they
the
stay
dumbest
there, if
thing
that
I've
makes
ever
sense.
heard.
All right. So, Drift, just to break it down real quick,
Mm.
I've got a car, but it's giving me all sorts of problems, but I love it, making me spend money out of
I'm
my
so
nose
glad
that
you
I
said
shouldn't be
this.
spending.
I want to see what Drift says.
I gotta let it go, innit?
That's different to the whole thing that we're talking
No,
about.
it's not, bruv. It's
love
the
is love,
same.
bro.
You love the car, but it's causing you problems.
No, it's not the same type of love, though, is it? Come on.
Oh, okay.
Love is love, my brother.
All right. Let me put it to you like this. When people say if you love something, let it go, it coincides with that whole kind of like, I love you, so I want the best for you. You know, like they kind of go hand in hand. And if there's anybody who legitimately can tell me, yeah, that when their girlfriend leaves them, they love that girl so much, they wish the best for her, wish to go and get her back blown out by some next brother and be happier than she was with you, then good for you, innit? Because I can't believe that for a second.
We're not
I'm
talking.
gonna be
talking.
completely real with you, Drift. Yeah. You see, if I got to a point in my life, yeah, where I didn't feel like I was good enough for my missus or could help her in life, I would genuinely sit her down and say, "You need to leave me and get on with your life." Still, I don't want to be holding no one back.
Fair play, bro. Fair play.
Bro, all I was gonna say to you,
as well.
and if you wanna throw it back to football, one of your favorite players is Divock Origi. You said, you know what, Matt, he ain't gonna play, so yeah, it makes sense to let him go, innit? You know what I mean?
No, but you gotta remember, I actually wouldn't let Divock go.
Drift, I'm not gonna get into it now, but there's many times when you've gone, do you know what, guys, it is what it is. Klopp ain't gonna play him.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
better that
because
he
I'm not
actually
in
goes.
control. If I was in
No, but
control,
bro,
I'd be
you know what you
playing
said?
him. So that's
But
different.
bro, you also said as well, like, I wish him all the best. You wished him all the best as well to go,
Yeah,
because you
of
want him to
course.
succeed, innit? You know what I mean?
Because that's out of my control.
No,
if
I
it
know.
was within my control, he'd be at Liverpool and he'd be playing though, so it's different.
All right.
Fair dues.
Fair.
Right, let's move on to the next centre midfielder, James Milner. I mean, in fact, I've got.
I mean,
he's just signed a new
he
contract,
signed a new deal, so that one's
Goes and keeps.
self-explanatory. Yeah.
Ox,
So
Matt.
I'm sure he'll say so.
Yeah, I'm guessing he'll say so. I'm saying so anyway, so it'd have been 2 votes either way.
Begrudgingly, I was thinking today about Ox, and I was thinking, if 17, 18 Ox had never got that injury, I think he could have been one of the greatest midfielders under the Klopp reign. It's such a shame. I know it's all if buts and maybes, but it's such a shame. Such a shame.
Ox?
Like basically, not even just if he never got that injury. If Ox just had an impeccable injury record where that we could actually play him 40, 45 times a season because he wasn't injury prone, I think he would have been amazing for Klopp, amazing. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I really do.
Elliot.
I can't believe we're putting Thingy in the cell.
Loan.
Elliot, nah, keep.
I'm keeping him as well.
Not on the loan thing for Elliot.
Curtis Jones.
Loan.
Definitely loan for me.
We're going to have a conversation about Curtis. That's going to make me really uncomfortable.
I'm not going to lie to you guys.
He's your lot's future captain. I don't understand why it's uncomfortable.
If we got a decent offer for Curtis with a buyback, I may sell him.
What I'm worried about with Curtis is he's never going to actually be given the opportunity to develop and prove himself.
No.
We got to
stop this.
I don't agree with that at all, because there's a different. Sometimes things just don't work out as easy as they seem when you just go, "Oh, if you're this, then you should do this." There's certain times when there's only a scenario that allows a player to be able to give him an opportunity, i.e. Trent, i.e. Sterling. There are a few players in the world now who are absolute ballers, and the only reason they played is because something happened and they were kind of forced into play and then improved themselves. We've never been put in a position where we've been forced to play Curtis for like 30 games in a row, where it's just been like we've allowed him, and he's been able to build up that trust and then prove he's of a certain level. And we're competing way too high in comparison to where we were when Sterling broke through or where we were when Trent broke through. We've got no room now for these players to be able to grow and learn on the job. We are now, every single game, a draw is a loss, because Man City will win and it's a 95-point season thing to win. We don't have a position now where we can go, yeah, Curtis can develop and play and we can do this. We can't do that anymore. And it's actually kind of like to the detriment of any player trying to break through that we are a world-class team now. So for me personally, that's why Jones is never going to get a chance to break him.
If he's good enough, he'll break through, Drift.
See, here's the thing. So,
I don't think it's as simple as that. When you've got
Yelit's the proof of it.
We haven't broken him though.
No, because he got injured, but he'd broken in at the beginning.
Yeah. Remember, he was starting over. Remember, he started the season, didn't it? Remember, but
he's starting over everyone.
Here's the thing of Curtis Jones. Yeah, when Curtis Jones kind of like got his game time, obviously people were injured, yeah, and he kind of showed that there's some talent there, yeah. But the problem is that, like always, fan base get carried away and start saying he's this and that. I remember there were conversations. I'm not gonna say who said it, because it's not about that. But I remember the conversations about, like he's got the same talent as Foden, all these things. I was like, no, he's good, but I don't think he's that good. And that's not a bad thing. I just didn't think he was that good, yeah. And then there were conversations as well about, Curtis Jones, I was saying, I think, Trent will be captain before him. And you guys were saying, and that's fair enough, because that's character. That's a bit different. But my whole point is this. If Curtis Jones was good enough, in my opinion, to like just go into the first team, Klopp would play him. There's no reason why Klopp wouldn't play him. It's like Klopp is, as we say, Klopp is one of the best managers in the world. If he can see the guy, no, he does, but he doesn't play him enough.
He just doesn't get as enough game time as he needs to develop.
No, but here's the simple facts, though, in my opinion. As things stood last season, Klopp sees him not better than Naby Keita, not better than Henderson, not better than Thiago, not better than Fabinho, not better than Milner. He probably is next in line, maybe, like that. So therefore, that means he's not good enough to force his way through to the point where he's in that 4-man rotation. And that's why, me personally, there's still something there. I just don't think that he'll ever be like, I could be wrong. He might not be the elite, but he could be good. But the problem is, though, for him at that type of age, because he's not experienced, he would have to go out on loan even to get to the level. Like, for example, look at Chelsea with my man, Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher went on loan, yeah, and went about and done his business, yeah. And here's Conor Gallagher has proved to everybody, yeah, he's got that talent, and it's now up to Chelsea. Like, are they going to keep him or not? Curtis Jones is one of those. A lot of people go, yeah, he's all right, but do you know what I mean? So he needs to go out alone and see if he can make that next step, because it's not going to happen right now.
Yeah,
remember,
you're proving my point, bro. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So just to cut you guys, just to put this into context, shout out to Kevin in the comments who was just asking about appearances, etc., and minutes. Curtis Jones has played 1,527 minutes. Ox has played 1,524 minutes. Milner's played 1,341 minutes. And then obviously you've got Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago, and Naby have all played more. So Curtis is effectively fifth in line at the moment, as Matt said. So it's not like he's not getting chances, because he's getting more than Ox. He's getting more than Milner.
No, you got to remember though, he went through that really bad injury that disrupted the season as well. And them minutes for me, the reason why it's not the same kind of thing is because when Ox is getting those minutes, Ox is starting the game and maybe being brought off. A lot of the time, it's just Jones getting the end of the game, the 20 minutes at the end of the game and stuff like that. And
but
then
why is that?
Because he's not actually better than Naby, Hendo, Thiago, or Flacco. I don't think anybody would say he's better than them.
No. Yeah, so that's why.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with it. But he's never. The example you gave, Matt, is exactly what I'm saying. Gallagher last season, nobody realised the promise Gallagher had because he wasn't being allowed to play. He went to Palace and proved he's good enough by playing. That is why I want Jones to go on a loan, because Jones has got to play every week to prove he's good enough. And not only that, to get the confidence, bro. If you're getting 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, half an hour there, all over the place, you're never gonna. It's like starting a new job and you don't really know what you're doing. And every time somebody tells you what to do, you don't really get a chance to show you understand. And then something big happens and they go, right, we told you what to do, go and do it. You'll be like, yeah, on paper, you've told me what to do, but I haven't practiced it. How am I going to be good at it? I'm not going to be good at what you're asking me to do. You've got to do it every day to be good at it, right? You can't be bitty for the last 3 years like Jones has and develop. It's not going to work.
Sorry. So just I'm glad you mentioned Gallagher, because I think he's a very good example to use. Gallagher's gone off, and everyone would agree he's had a very, very good loan spell, right?
That's one example.
What position did he play for Palace?
It was like a attacking midfielder, weren't he?
Played as a 10, right?
Kind of, yeah.
What formation did Chelsea play?
Well,
so even though he's gone out and he's played well, there's effectively not a position for him at Chelsea.
Yeah,
they have to create one for him. So again, going out on loan is just good for playing games sometimes, unless someone else is going to replicate our system or as closely match our system.
This is what I was going to say.
It's not going to benefit Jones. All he's going to do is play games. It's not going to necessarily benefit him for Liverpool.
No, but what we are saying though is that we get what you're saying, but obviously it'll be a smart
like us, isn't
it? Yeah, it can't just be any team. But I get what you mean. The thing is, Curtis Jones.
Brighton play a very similar attacking type of football.
They don't. They often play 4-4-2 sometimes.
The thing is, Curtis Jones is a good player. I just don't think he's like. I don't be disrespectful because he's good. Like, good is good, isn't it? I just don't think he's special. Like, he's not a special player. Like, clearly you can see there's talent, but I was always a bit like, no, Curtis Jones is good, but like, I don't know, like he's good, innit? And the thing is, but he might be more than that, but I just don't think as things stand, he can show that, innit? He don't get the game time, man. I think there's a reason why he's not on that level. So that the smart thing for me would be to put him on loan. If you sell him, it'll be that what if, and you're selling someone very early on in their career. We've done it before. I find enough it actually worked. I won't say who his name is, but begins with a B. But yeah, you guys know
he is in a very, very similar position right now to Mason Mount when Lampard took over and they had that transfer ban. Mount had just come off of a very good loan spell with Derby. Lampard trusted in him and played him, and he was able to prove himself. Now, there's still people who don't think he's quite at the level, but Mason Mount is a good player. There's nobody who can actually be like, Mason Mount is a bad player. Curtis Jones is at that very similar trajectory, even though he may be, I think, a year older than Mount was at that time. What is going to actually happen? Now, we aren't in a scenario where we're going to be forced to give him time like Lampard was, because let's be honest, without that transfer ban, I don't think one or two of the other players that are their youth players get a chance either. Do you know what I mean? There's even maybe Reece James might not even have been given a chance. So because we're not going to be in that position, that's what I'm saying to you lot. Sometimes it's about where the club is at the time. That is just so fortunate for the player. He's able to break through and be able to show himself. I don't think Raheem Sterling would have actually bossed the way he did if we weren't in the situation we're in under Brendan. If we'd had an actual right winger or another player in the team who was of a level, Sterling might not have bossed through the team.
Sterling would have.
I don't know, bruv. I really 100%. Don't know.
But Sterling was scoring all 5 goals in games in the under.
He would have, but he got fast track. That's what it was. That got fast track.
Like,
no, Sterling would have made it. Like that. No, Sterling, I think, always would have made it Liverpool. It's just like, yeah, he's doing the madness. Like, but the thing is, he just got fast track.
Look, I'm not saying he wouldn't have. I'm just saying there's been plenty players in the past who have been badding it up in the youth team, and there's just never been that chance to give them a first team game, and then they don't play. They just, do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, if Klein doesn't get that injury, Trent might never become Trent. Like sometimes things just happen, guys.
Again, I disagree with that one as well, just because Klopp was playing Trent before Klein got injured.
Yeah, but he wasn't being allowed to prove himself until we were forced to play him because Klein then went out on a long-term injury.
Yeah, but even still, sorry to cut you, mate. Even still, we still had Gomez playing there, and like Trent dislodged Gomez that season. And Gomez was way more established.
In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, without regular football, Trent doesn't develop and become who he is. He becomes that guy where you're like, oh, the promise is there, but he's that iffy player. Playing every week because we had to play him is why he developed into who he is.
I think there comes a time.
Nobody saw him make his debut and knew he'd be this good.
No, you're right. But but obviously everyone, but that's kind of like common sense in the sense of, if you don't have game time, you're not going to progress. We know that. That's common. But what we're trying to say is the type of ability that he had was always going to show at some point.
Always going to show.
And there's a reason why. Yep, but this is what I was gonna say. There's a reason why
given an opportunity, bro, and now we don't look as good as we thought he was.
But there's a reason, bro. But no. But what I was gonna say, but this is why Liverpool decided to get rid of him, because they thought he wasn't good enough. Like at the end of the day, like when people say like trusting Klopp and whatever, like I'm not gonna do it blindly. But one thing we can't say though is there's a reason why certain players have made it and certain players haven't. There's a reason why Trent is there, because Klopp saw something and thought, yeah. There's a reason even why we bought Fabio Carvalho, bro, and he's only what? Is it Alves Carvalho? 19. There's a reason why Klopp's bought him. Like even Curtis Jones must be thinking, 19. Like, boom, that's kind of like, Curtis Jones should be thinking that should be him. There's a reason why these players are bought, and there's a reason why we have doubts on some of these players, And even though we try and give them every opportunity we can because we're fans of them and we want to support them, sometimes we just got to call it what it is. As things stand, there's just certain players that probably won't make it, but there's some that are. But I think we will find out. You know what I mean? We will find out. We will.
And that's why he needs the loan. So we can find out. That's the point I'm making. And then if he doesn't do successful on that loan, it'll be a painful conversation, but we'll have to have it.
Fair dues. Right, going to move to the next person. I'm going to throw him in there because there's been talk of him moving to that position. But again, feel free to say, no, don't put him in. I'm going to go for Firmino.
He's not a midfielder, though.
I don't know if Klopp will actually play him in midfield, but I get why you might have thought maybe to include him.
Because
should I leave him out then?
Yeah, he's like literally the.
Do you know what? Firmino is actually the most upsetting, worrying. Don't want to have it conversation.
I say don't put him in there. Even I wouldn't sell him.
We'll have that conversation another time, no drift. Tyler Morton.
Oh, definitely a loan. Morton's got to learn how to play.
He needs a loan.
He's got to bulk up a bit and learn how to play men's football.
He needs to come 100%. Off that crisp on popcorn diet for money.
Hella puberty.
Some hard food
for Morton still.
He needs some hard food and he'll be alright. Got the technical ability, just needs the physicality now.
Yeah, man. Someone start giving him saltfish patties, he'll be alright.
So I've not missed out anyone, have I, guys?
I'm
not gonna put that along the thing. No. In there, so
no. Do you know what? What's happened to just quickly? What's happened to Musliowski?
He's a winger.
No, but just in general, because bro,
He's a
he had so
winger.
much promise in one preseason, and then he just
That's what
just never
happens,
saw him.
Matt. There was no position to let him play in the team. That's what
No,
I'm
I
saying.
think
If
he
we
had
were-
a bad injury or something.
He had injury and then he had COVID. He's highly thought of.
He's highly rated. Because I even remember seeing him do
Of
some
course.
promoting with thingy from F2.
But what I'm saying is, imagine if we
Mad
were
stuff.
like Brendan Rodgers' first season Liverpool, but Mussolowski was still at the position that he's at now, the same age and the same level. Straight away, we'd be like, yeah, play him. Like he's good enough to go in because there wasn't that many players in the team that were good enough. Do you get what I mean? There's a much easier way for an opportunity to be given to him because the current crop
But
aren't
it's not
actually that
necessary.
good to keep him out.
But it's not necessarily the best way, though.
Isn't that
But-
point though, Drift? If you're good enough, you'll play. Cream rise to the top. And
Yeah,
whether
but
you-
not always.
It always,
though.
no,
Not
it always does, bro.
No,
Nine
not
times,
not always. Not always.
bro. 9 times out of 10, if you're that talented, like unless it's your attitude, you will make it.
There's
It's
so
hard
many
for.
times when it doesn't work like that, though, guys. That's why a player will go on and be an absolute G at another club, and you think, well, why did they let him go? Because at that time he couldn't
but
break into their team,
But
but he was
that's
too
just one
good.
club. No.
No, but I'm just saying that's
talking
an
about
example,
overall.
isn't it? Paul Pogba couldn't get in the Man United team, but Paul Pogba should have never been sold. He's a
That
good
would
player,
be-
but he just couldn't get in the Man U team. Do you
No,
know what I'm saying?
that was
Sometimes you just
talent.
can't get
That was a
in.
bit different,
That
though.
wasn't to do with talent.
And his
Fergie just
attitude,
didn't like the
yeah,
situation
remember-
around him.
No, bro, it was about talent as well. Because if Fergie thought he was good enough, he wouldn't have let him go.
No, bro. Look at what Fergie does to players. He don't care how talented you are. Get rid of you.
Fergie, bruv.
Fergie's probably the worst. He don't give a damn.
Look,
Bruv, we're
his
sitting
attitude
there,
might not
we-
have been the best, but I'm saying if
Look at
Paul
all
Pogba could
Beckham
have
and
been
Nistelrooy's in them, man. Them man, they got
if Pogba
tough.
could have been an asset to Man United the way they knew he could have been, they wouldn't have let him go.
Of course they would have, bruv. Fergie don't play that, bro. But man,
Pogba
that's
wasn't that
football.
bad. Hold on, Pogba's not that bad. Come on, guys.
I'm not-
Pogba is
I'm
not like
I-
a rebel.
Listen to the words I said, bro. I said the stuff around Pogba, agent, and all that stuff. It plays a part, bro.
I
Fergie,
disagree
that's the
with that.
football
Bro.
boot in Beckham's head, bruv.
Yeah,
Think
but
Fergie
that's
cares about that.
That's what I'm saying. Man, bruv, look, Van Nistelrooy. Got rid of him. Look what he done at
Yeah.
Real Madrid. Like he was still
yeah,
banging
but
goals.
Pogba didn't do the things those guys did.
I
Those
know, but
guys
that's
got
the
a bit
point, though.
mouthy and did
But the
things.
my point is, if it don't matter how talented you are, it doesn't matter. Everything has to be complete for not just him, for every manager. Like even if you are talented, yeah, like bro, one of our players that we all agree on is very talented is Balotelli, bro. But again, I know there's some things that are unwanted for him, which I don't even like, but especially in his early career, at least in his early career, there was that kind of petulance thing about him, which is normal. But what happened? Like he rose to a certain point, but he should have done better than where he actually went. Do you know what I mean? Like Balotelli, I still think of that iconic goal he scored. I think was it the Euros, and he took off the top and done the thing.
No, but that's not what we're talking about. Being given a chance in the team. Like, why did Juve let Coleman go for Bayern Munich? Like, see, it happens, bro. Sometimes you just don't think he's quite good enough for your team, and he goes somewhere else. You think, bro, why did we let him go? That's just how football works.
And sometimes they think, he's good, but he's not good enough for what we need right now.
But he was, though. They just weren't giving him the chance to prove it.
No, but bro, sometimes
didn't have a winger better than Coleman. Come on, they didn't,
bro. Sometimes it can also be, he's good, but he's not good enough for what we need right now. You know, one of them ones. So he's good, but we need more.
No, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but that's not always the case. Coleman could have played for Juve. Yeah, Gnabry. Arsenal didn't play Gnabry and let him go, bro. Come on.
The worst for letting go of
but every
players.
time I'm giving you an example, you're just acting like I'm not giving you an actual. I'm giving you examples of when it happens.
But if we're not saying you're wrong, but we're not wrong either. Like there are times where players will not get a chance because of the manager, but there are times where a player is not going to be good enough for the club at that time as well.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. I'm not going to argue that.
But my whole bottom point is it rises to the top, though. No matter what happens, look at Salah and flipping.
Foden's a prime example.
KD,
No, but this is
KDB,
no, but this
bro.
is what I'm saying. It doesn't always rise to the top guys because otherwise Gnabry would still be an Arsenal player. Coleman would still be a Juve player. It doesn't
but he rose
always
to the
rise.
top at Bayern. Salah rose to the top at Liverpool.
But it didn't
KDB
rise
rose
to the top at the club who he was supposed to boss at. That's the point I'm making.
but
the
that's
team who he came through.
But Drift, that's
they
just like
didn't realise because it didn't happen at that time.
Drift, that's life though. That's timing and circumstantial though. I'm just saying. When you are that talented,
no, but that defeats the point of what we're saying. You lot are saying if Jones is good enough, he'll bust. But no, not necessarily, because it might not just be a possibility to bust at Liverpool. He might go somewhere else, and then he'll bust because he plays, and we'll be like, "Bro, we shouldn't have let him go." This is a point I've been trying to make this whole time. There's no room for him in the Liverpool team, but it don't mean he's not good enough.
No. So you see Trent Alexander-Arnold, yeah. No matter what was going to happen, he was always going to be Trent. It don't matter. He was always going to be Trent because he's that good. No, he's a generational player. No, he's a generational player, bro. We don't really. Okay, that's fine. I just think he's generational. He was always going to do his thing. Curtis Jones is not a generational player, so therefore, he is either going to make the grade at Liverpool or he's not going to make it. But he hasn't got that definitive thing where you go, he's definitely going to make it to the top. There's certain players you can look at and go, pretty much, he's most likely going to make it to the top unless something crazy happens. Curtis Jones, for me, is not in that bracket. And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to Curtis Jones. Do you look at Curtis Jones and think he's a generational talent and he's definitively going to make it to the top? Yes or no? It's that simple. Do you think he'll make it to the top?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Exactly, because he's not a definitive player, really. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying Trent wouldn't have made it to the top ever. Of course he would have. He's a world-class player. But it might not have been at Liverpool. And that's the point I'm trying to make. If Klein doesn't get that injury and Klein continues to be the quality player he was for us, maybe Trent goes and is somewhere else he bosses. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I hear you. I hear you.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't have got in the Liverpool team.
No, I understand
That's
that
the point I'm trying to make.
But what I'm saying is, at the same time, I know I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. What I'm saying is, though, in the end, if you are that talented, more times, unless it's circumstantial, which does obviously that's a big part, but more times than not, if you are that good, you will just shine. It doesn't matter who the manager is, you will shine.
Yeah.
You will change their opinion, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right.
Loan out Jones anyway.
I say loan. Yeah, I think loan. What did you say, Cal?
Loan as well.
Okay.
I did put in a caveat that if a very good offer came in with a buyback clause, then I'd consider it.
Okay.
All right. So we've all decided Flacco, Thiago, Hendo, Milner, and Elliott are staying, right?
I said loan out Elliott. I do think he needs to play.
In terms of voting.
Yeah, in terms of voting.
Yeah, no, that voted, yeah.
And then common consensus was sell Naby and Ox, loan out Morton and Jones.
Well, common consensus for you guys for Naby. No one's allowed to be happy this summer. Mane's about to leave.
I'm already unhappy, bro. I lost 2 of my G's, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm saying, no, that's what I'm saying. You've lost 2. Do you know what's so mad, yeah? You've lost 2. I could potentially lose 1, and Cal could potentially lose 1 as well. You know, that's how crazy it is.
Yeah, it's actually mad that all of our favorite players are on the chopping board. It's nuts. I'm not even gonna lie.
They're all out on the seesaw. Yeah.
How many midfielders do we need first and foremost, in your guys' opinion?
I would actually say 7 to 8, if we want to be good in cup games.
Matt?
Yeah, around that. Basically, to make it a bit easier, the 2 that are in the cell, even though I don't agree with one of them, you'd have to replace those 2. I don't think we can do the whole get 1 and hope that it's okay. Just like in football, injuries happen naturally. It's part of a game. You have numbers for a reason, and you try and have as much quantity as you can, quality as well. I'm worried. Realistically, what could happen is Ox.
Don't get to that yet. Don't get to that yet. Literally, just give me a number. How many do we need, in your opinion?
I'll go 7 for 8 as my definitive number, Cal. I'll say 8.
Let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, 8. I would say 8. 8. Yeah, 8.
So if things stand right now, we've got 5. So now I'm going to give us a chance to revise what we've just done.
No, I'm keeping exactly the same, but I'm making 2 purchases.
But I only give us 7 then.
I'm revising.
but 7 to 8 is okay. Do you know what I mean? Knowing that Jones could come back if he does well on his long spell, and that can be the 8, even if that's the case.
We would need to get at least.
I think Carvalho
2.
could be the 8th as well, Cal, because I know he's not on there, but I think Carvalho could play.
Because I think he's going to be the full. Here's the thing. It's got to be at least 2 midfielders. Like at least 2 that we bring in. Because regardless,
we're getting to that, Matt. You're stepping.
You're jumping the gun, man. You're jumping the gun, man.
Bro.
I'm gonna ask you: do we need to revise what we've done?
Yeah, no, I still stick with it.
We need to keep Naby.
Because remember, I'm saying Carvalho would make 6 midfielders because Carvalho just come in.
And the reason why I'm saying keep Naby is because I'm doing this on a realism point. You keep Naby because I don't think Liverpool will buy 2 midfielders. So we're going to buy 1, most likely. If this was to actually happen, because remember, selling Naby and Ox, if we're in charge, they're not going to get, the fees aren't going to be very high. They both got a year left.
Matt, this is what we would do, though. Forget what we're going to actually do. This is what we would do, bro. So would you get rid of 2 and bring in 2 if it was us in charge?
Yeah. I would do that. Obviously, I would have to. I'd have to. You have to. You can't do the whole Lovren and bring in Tsimikas and hope he's going to be all right and then try and thingy the fan base and say, what's his name? Billy the Kid is the next big thing. You can't do them things there. Not with me anyway.
I'm going to change my opinion on Jones.
Naby. Oh. That's what you think you know, brother. That's what you think you know, brother. I thought it was going to be in sync, blood. Yeah. Naby. Man just went, Jones.
I'm going to change my opinion on Jones. Is anyone agreeing with me, or are you both still leaving him to go on loan?
No, I think it's very important for his actual development. He goes on loan. I think it's very important, like we just discussed. Yeah,
I think it's a loan.
Still on loan,
yeah, but
hold on. Stay there. Keep that there. My next question for you guys is: what type of a midfielder do we need? Matt, you start.
We need someone.
By the way, guys, I'm going on the premise we're only going to sign 1 because let's be honest, we're only signing 1 if we sign.
Oh, I thought we were doing what we actually should be doing. I thought that was at the point.
No, we're looking at this is midfield surgery, but we've also
surgery.
We can't perform miracles
if we're gonna go for 1, I want the more attacking midfielder, but can do a bit of defending, but more attacking wise. The reason I say that, Thiago can do everything, Henderson can do everything, Milner can do everything, Flacco amazing defensively. If you look at that list that we have there right now, Harvey Elliott is the only one you would say in the keep section from an attacking point of view. And Thiago obviously, but Elliott's direct. You'd have to go for more of an attacking, a CM/10. Okay. I wouldn't go for the all rounder because if we're going by this list, we got a few of them.
All right, Drift. Same question to you. What type of a midfielder do we need?
Box to box.
B to B.
I just need to get KDB and clone his rotted jeans. Someone needs to just clone him, blood. I swear down.
I put him in a hyperbolic time chamber, innit?
I swear down, all we need is KDB, and we don't even need to know about who gets sold, who whatever. I swear down. 1 midfielder.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on both of you now. So, Drift, I'll start with you because I started with Matt before. You want a box to box, but you scream there's a lack of creativity in goals from midfield.
But remember, I do believe Carvalho can actually offer that creativity from the midfield.
He's not here though, Drift. He can't cheat. He's not here.
No, but he plays for Liverpool. He's just not on this list.
We're seeing him as a forward right now.
The reason why I've not put him in there because we've not seen what position he's going to definitely play at Liverpool yet, and we don't know what position he's definitely going to play. It's not like if we brought in like Basuma, for example, we know he's playing centre midfield because that's where he's always played. Carvalho is a hybrid of 10, high 8.
But for Fulham, the majority, Cal, of what he did was an attacking midfielder. That was the majority of what he did.
But we've also seen him play on the left as well. So, and there's rumours that he's going to be playing amongst the front 3.
All right.
So where does
do you know why I would go? Why I would still go for a box to box? Because naturally, what a box to box player is a very energetic, athletic player, and that is what I truly do believe is missing in midfield. The creativity is definitely a problem. Don't get me wrong, but when I watch games where the opposition have a very athletic player, like kind of how Basuma played against us when we played Brighton, for an example. And you kind of look at him and you think, oh shit, man, we haven't got anyone in the midfield who can like keep up with him. He's like running away from midfielders and he's got too much energy for our midfield. I hate when that happens to us. And that's why I would maybe even sacrifice that creativity, hoping that your Diaz's and your Salahs can do that to get a guy in there. I know these guys don't really exist, but I want Pete Kante. That's the type of player I want. I want a guy that's just energy and legs in midfield, and he just ain't having it. You're not outrunning him. You're not out battling him. You're not out strengthening him. You're not. Do you know what I mean? He's just not having it.
One more question for you, Drift. How does that type of player break down a low block?
I don't think it can break down a low block, but I believe with the introduction of Núñez and Diaz having a full season under his belt, we can actually break down low blocks without it being midfield creativity. I think we stretch play, get the game wide, get balls into the box and let Núñez attack and spread the play. That's how I believe we break down the low block now with a big, actual, strong, natural centre forward.
All right, Matt, going to come to you now. You said you want an attacking CM/10. Some of the games that we've dropped points in the previous season, Brighton lost control of the midfield. Brentford lost control of the midfield. Does that give us more control in the midfield?
Other than, I'd say, out of a 38-game calendar in the Prem, there's only very few games that we lost control of because we normally dominate possession. Even the greatest of teams in the Premier League, I hate to say that, Man City, idiots. Even there's times in certain times of the season, they'll lose control of a game. Hence, when Spurs caught them on the counter, they lost control. We dominate the majority of our games. Our actual kryptonite is a low block. We are screaming for a creative midfielder. Doesn't necessarily have to be a genius, but has an eye that can spot a pass, has an eye or eye of a needle pass. He can dribble a bit. He's got good close control. That's the person I would go for. Because here's the thing, Cal. I'm going to throw it back to the fan base. We just signed back James Milner. So I don't want to hear anybody can play with my answer. Because James Milner... No. James Milner, everybody wanted to sign him back up, bro. From the majority of that fan base, they wanted to sign him back up. I was on the thing of saying, do you know what? I love James Milner, but do you know what? I personally would let him go. Because I feel like we need to kind of try... If we are trying to evolve, you try and get more legs in there, a bit of dynamism in there. And I'm not having a go at the people, but what I am kind of trying to say is you can't have a go at me for going for someone creative. And then you're asking me the question of saying we lost control. Maybe we need that kind of all midfield general in there. Well, that's James Milner. So on that premise, James Milner will be that guy. So is Henderson. He's another one. Obviously, Thiago is the boss. Fabinho's a defensive shield. We are missing the creative linchpin that can unlock a game. The person who I would go for, me personally, it's a bit of a gamble.
Whoa.
Oh,
you're jumping again, man.
No, you can upset me with another thing. I just got to unload the clip, you know.
Raw.
But
we've just got to the gun range, Matt, bro.
All right, I'll leave it there. All I'll say is this, though. No,
Carl's paying for how long with them. Matt's just like, pop.
We're shooting in the shot, bro.
All I'm saying is this, yeah. We need creativity because the low block is our Achilles heel and it's frustrating. Like, even if here's the joke here, and I'll even say this: if Naby Keita was to get sold, we should have went and got Basuma. Because Basuma will be that kind of box-to-box guy, right? He might not be creative, but he replaces Naby, that kind of box-to-box guy. Because even though Naby can be creative, Naby's still, in my opinion, more seen as more box-to-box with creativity. You're still missing that creative guy. Hence why we struggled in finals. Some people were saying, Sadio Mane is not good against low blocks. Well, really and truly, to beat a low block, you can't just rely on a forward. Your team has to function in a way where you have answers for that low block. We didn't have answers. We just relied on our forwards and their individual play, thinking that they could unlock a defense. We are missing a creative mind, like a creative mind that can see that opening. So, and I also agree with Drift. Yes, there's going to be times when you can give the ball to Trent or Robbo or whoever's on the wing. They can beat one man, visiting for Nunez. But we also want another midfielder, a creative midfielder.
For the knockdowns, Matt. So you see when those balls get whipped in and there's a clearance to the edge of the box.
Because Nunez might be occupying someone, the ball drops to somebody. Bang.
Like Stevie G. Stevie G would be eating off of that.
Oh, of course, but what? We're going back to the Benitez era. Well, what? The 4-4-1-1 thing or the 4-2-3-1? We had Alonso and Mask as the dictator. You got the dictator, the smasher. Then you got the all-worldly midfielder who was all godly, Steven Gerrard, and then obviously Torres ahead. Bro, do you know what? Spine.
Just a quick question. Let's not go on a tangent. I just want to ask it while it's in my mind. If you based it on his Liverpool career and nothing to do with his Leipzig career at all, and you didn't know anything about him, but based on what you've seen, what would you actually say Naby is? Because I've got to be honest with you, I actually wouldn't have a clue. I couldn't tell if he's defensive, box to box, attacking. I actually couldn't tell you what Naby is.
I would still say.
Based on Liverpool career, don't do the Leipzig thing. Just based on what you've seen him do for Liverpool.
I would still say he's box to box. Personally, I would. But what it is, but I would look at him different and go, right, like his dynamism's lacking though. Like, and the reason I say that is because remember I'm basing it on not seeing his Leipzig days, and remember when he was back there. He didn't have the injuries that he's had now. Like you can tell every injury that he picks up, whether it's hamstring or whatever, it takes that little bit out of him. I'm just glad that this season just gone. That was his best season. He still isn't for me the complete Naby of Leipzig that we know, but he gave a good account of himself anyway. So
all right. So next thing I want to do now, guys, is move the conversation slightly. Once again, guys, if you're in the comments. Almost 1,000 of you here. Please do smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel.
Big up, guys.
Gonna start getting into some technical aspects now. This is currently the formation 4-3-3, 2 8s, 1 6. Based on who we still have at the club, from what the decisions we've just made, we've got Flacco, Hendo, Thiago, Elliott, and Milner. How many players do we have for the 6?
2.
Hendo and Flacco, right?
Yeah.
For the left
in
centre
an
midfield,
absolute emergency would be Milner, but not like those two are the 2.
Left centre midfield, who we got?
Thiago and Naby, innit?
Naby.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot you said that.
Thiago Alcantara.
Do you know what though, Matt? I'd actually say Thiago's more the right-sided one, you know.
No, he's the left, isn't it? He's the left, bro. Yeah.
No, if we were going to buy a player, I would play Thiago on the left.
No. Keep on the left because he likes to cut in and do
that. If we're not doing that yet, then left. Yeah.
He does the hips thing, innit? No. The little hips thing where he does the little shimmy thing, innit?
That shimmy's sensational.
I'd also say Milner for that position as well.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm not mistaken, that's where Milner played when we played Chelsea and Man United and Everton when he played really well.
Correct. Precisely. Right hand side, Elliott.
Right? And Henderson. Obviously, because Henderson's doing the 2 roles, in it, like at the moment. Yeah. Okay.
Plus, I would also say Carvalho can't not be included at all because he'd be the left-sided one for me as well. Cal.
We don't know, bro.
I still, that's what I would play.
Do you know what it is? I think everyone knows he's going to be, I don't even want to bring up his name. If there was ever a player that you could kind of compare one of the past Brazilians to, Carvalho is that guy. It's so weird that, like,
you feel Mitchell, yeah? Making Grant's wife and all that. Yeah, right, cool.
Do you know what though? I'm not gonna lie, he is 100% the closest thing that we'll probably have to what we had. He probably is, just based on I don't think he's like for like or anything.
He's not, but
I think he's very similar. He is very similar. He's a 75% version of that player that Cal doesn't want to name.
Yeah, like playing style wise kind of thing. It's kind of weird.
All right.
I don't think he'll ever get as good as though, if I'm being honest.
Here comes a curveball now, boys. We keep on hearing about 4-2-3-1 because we've signed a new striker.
Yeah.
Now, in the pivot, how many players have we got for the pivot?
4.
2. No.
Hendo, Flacco, Thiago, and Milner, right?
Yeah, that's
those
it.
are the 4, yeah.
4,
For the 10, we've just got Elliot.
And Carvalho, bro. We have to include him. He's a Liverpool player.
Carvalho will definitely be there.
I'll
include him.
This bit I'll include him. Yes.
Yeah, there you include him because he played there for Fulham. So that's when
I still think he's going to play an advanced 8 for us, guys. I really do.
I don't think
he might
be in the first season though, Drift.
But not yet. I don't because it's remember. Do you know what it is, Drift? I think Klopp
straight.
already knows that from the attacking point he's good. It's knowing what to do defensively, and you know Klopp is very meticulous when it comes to knowing your defensive responsibilities. Like he's so meticulous. So I reckon if he's going to do it, it won't be till like back end of the season, maybe when you fully trust him and go, you fully understand the assignment.
But guys, remember, he never put any real defensive responsibilities on Elliot when he was playing him on that left
Elliot
side,
is,
on the right
no.
side.
Elliot is kind of tenacious though, naturally. But
he wasn't demanding he track back and do all that kind of stuff. Elliot wasn't tracking back.
Of course he was, bro.
Not in the same way that Henderson or somebody else does when they play that position.
Absolutely was, bro.
Shard it easy.
Do you remember the Inter Milan game?
No, I'm talking about the beginning of the season when he was actually playing well. I'm not gonna lie, he got hooked
off differently. Man was like,
he was crap in the Inter Milan game, bro. We gotta keep it up.
I'm not talking about his performance, bro. Elliot was tracking back all times he played, bro. He had to.
No, of course he was tracking back because that's naturally what our players are meant to do. But I don't think there was any defensive emphasis put on him that it was like, you got to make sure you're doing this, because he was very advanced for the majority of the time. And he was more an attacking player than a defensive player in comparison to, say, Henderson or Milner or Naby, who will play on that right side and will be a lot more defensive minded. He was let off the reins of it. Elliot wasn't told to be as defensive as the others are. I
think that's to do with Trent's positioning, but that's a different story for a different day. Are we putting Bobby for the 10 as well then?
Yeah.
Bobby,
yeah.
Right.
I think we've got 3. There's the 2 10s I'll pick first will be in no order, Carvalho and Firmino, and then the third choice will be Harvey Elliott.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you guys the question again. In a 4-3-3, we're saying it's the right-hand side of midfield. In a pivot, we're saying it's one of the pivot players. I'm going to ask you again, Matt, do you still agree that we need an attacking midfielder /10? And Drift, do you still agree that we need a box-to-box? Or do you still maintain, should I say? Matt?
Yeah, I do. A dynamic box-to-box player.
So, sorry, Matt. So, again, I'm just going to throw devil's advocate for both of you. Matt, if we get an attacking centre midfielder /10, we're going to have 4 10s.
Yeah, but you know why? Here's the thing, Carl. I know we're more assuming it's going to be 4-2-3-1. I don't think Klopp's going to go back to the 4-2-3-1. Like, I think it's almost like we want it to happen, but I don't think we're going to see it. That's why I still think that third midfielder, who albeit is kind of like a 10, but can still play the 8 role. So that's when I said I want an attacking midfielder. He can do a little defensive work, but his main thing is attacking. Do you want me to give you a name, or you're not ready?
No names yet. Put in the hoister, bruv, and put the safety on. What's wrong with you?
I was just asking a question.
Waving it around like we're in a restaurant, Matt, bruv. Yeah, we're in a restaurant.
Where my food at?
I just in a buffet, just whispering. Shall I lay it off? Shall I lay it off? No, man.
No. I was just asking a question.
So, Drift, box to box now.
No, but where the wings at still? What are you saying?
I thought you were talking about football until I realized you did a food thing.
So, Drift, you maintain a box to box now, yeah?
Yeah.
if that box to box player comes in,
Mm.
who moves down the pecking order?
Well, based on the fact that Henderson is already fourth choice, because whoever I buy would be the third choice, I'll say Hendo, I guess.
Okay. And then also with that, I'm going to say something I never want to say again. Let's say Source picks up an injury for a month or two.
Oh, jeez.
Now, we've seen Hendo can come in and do a similar job to Fabinho. Still not as good as Fabinho. Fabinho, in my opinion, is way better than Hendo, but that's not saying Hendo's rubbish.
Mm.
How is it going to be easy to even find someone who can do what Thiago does? And I'm not saying you have to replicate his game, but he's the control in it.
Mm.
So if you're talking about box to box tends not to be someone who can control a game.
But because I'm not going to say the type of player I want because we're not at that point yet, there's a few players who I actually think can kind of slightly still do it just in a different way.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Just out of curiosity, which out of the two formations would you prefer us to play next season? Both of you.
4-3-3.
4-3-3 for me.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of shocked me still.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know why? Do you want an explanation why?
Go on.
Because even though
Right, that's
40
really taking me aback.
because
Sorry.
even though 4-2-3-1 potentially, and I say potentially, it might get us more goals. I worry that we might lose control of games, something that we've actually changed. So when Klopp first came in, we was a 4-2-3-1. Then we changed to a 4-3-3. And if you look more closely, we've gone from being very, very counter-attacking to now a possession with counter-attack. If we go back to, oh, sorry, bro. If we go back to the 4-2-3-1, we would lose that third man, like that can help control the game. And it's kind of mad because Klopp always looks for guys that can do everything. And that's a hard thing to find. And it's like you got to be very meticulous finding that one player. Like, and what's so mad is when you deep it now. I know obviously some people might say he's finished or whatever, but Gini Wijnaldum gave us very good balance because Gini Wijnaldum, from an attacking point of view, yes, he wasn't nowhere near KDB or anything like that, but obviously he can score important goals. We've seen it before. Like just over his Liverpool career, he scored important goals. Let's not forget Champions League to get into Champions League in the 16-17 season, he helped us, and obviously Champions League, against Barcelona. But from a defensive point of view, he was also very sturdy, and I think Klopp likes those players that can do everything. So even though I'm still going attacking wise, it makes me wonder what Klopp is thinking, and I think he might side with what Drift is thinking, because if we are being linked with a Tchouaméni, I shouldn't even say names, but
no names, Matt. Let me hit you guys with something.
Genie is far from finished, by the way, Matt. That's just PSG.
No, but that's just people just
Let me hear your thoughts on this now, guys. And again, before anyone in the fan base or the comments comes from me, I'm not trying to shade anyone when I say this. But Diaz,
it's not we've always got to put these disclaimers out, isn't it?
Diaz is a risk taker, right? That's why I love him. He's a risk taker.
Yeah. Of course.
He'll lose the ball more than anyone in our team next season.
Nunes, from what we've seen, and I can only go by what I've seen. So far, from what I've seen, is not the greatest in terms of link-up play and running with the ball and all those things. Fantastic finisher, though.
No. So
you'll be surprised, Cal.
He's good at running with the ball, but when it comes to tight footwork or being very, very technical, if the ball's fizzed to you, control it, do something with it later off. He's not that type of guy, so he might lose possession. That's what I'll say. And
then we all know what Salah is. Salah's a player who will get you a goal and assist, but might not have the greatest of game, or he might get in a goal and assist and be the best player on the pitch. So I ask you guys, if we stick with 4-3-3, how do we get fluidity with that front three?
Because with the third midfielder, it brings balance. If you was to go and change that now to a 2, and a 1, and you just said Diaz is a risk taker, and I've just said Nunes, you know, he's a good runner with the ball, but I think he might lose possession, you know, a few times, especially in a games in a low block, maybe. Salah's a weird one. Salah on his day, unplayable. Salah another day, we'll just keep running into a defender. Yeah. If you put that 10 there, you're basically asking Fabinho and Thiago to cover any type of mess that the front players make. Whereas if you got that third midfielder that plays a little bit deeper, there's a little bit more protection. So that kind of does lean more into Drift's way of thinking in terms of the box to box. However, what I am saying, what I was going to say though is the third midfielder for me. I'm not trying to say he can't defend or he's whatless, but he's mainly known for his attacking. But he'll put a shift in. I'm waiting for the name because there's a reason why. Because I think this guy is just different.
Right.
But yeah,
really quickly before I come to you, Drift. Really quickly.
Yeah, go on.
If we're playing, and again, from based on what you're saying, we're hoping that the third man in midfield will chip in with goals and assists.
Mm-hmm.
But effectively, once again, if we stick with 4-3-3, we're predominantly relying on the front three, right?
Not necessarily, because that third man.
We would be.
No, because if that third man,
hear me out. Hear me out while I say that.
Go on.
Because if the third man, let's say he gets 5 goals, 5 assists, that's still a massive uptake in what we're getting from midfield right now. No disrespect to any of them.
Yeah.
But 5 goals, 5 assists ain't gonna necessarily take us over the line on Pippin City, because this is who we're up against. We're up against City.
Yeah.
How do we then get the best out of Nunes when we're asking Diaz and Salah to effectively become goal scorers still? Or is it a case of Nunes and Salah become the goal scorers and Diaz becomes a creator?
Well, this comes into the point that maybe Matt has a point saying to get a 10/an attacking midfielder, because what a lot of people who don't watch Nunes won't know is he's very good at peeling off to the left. He likes to do that. He occupies that space, which means Mo can come over and get goals covering that space that Nunes will leave, or Nunes can hit, head the ball back across, and then there's space for an attacking midfielder to run into that space that Diaz has vacated, and that Nunes has vacated, and Diaz can then drop into the 10, and they can rotate between the lot of them. So if the ball, say Trent plays a beautiful ball from the right hand side because Nunes has peeled off, Diaz can then drop into the midfield, and the midfielder can make the run into the space where Nunes has left off. And then he needs to be a goal scoring type midfielder, which is where Matt would have a point. If we had that Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes-esque player in the team that likes to make that run, there's going to be plenty space for him and Salah where Nunes pulls off to the left. So that's where there can be possibilities for midfield to chip in with goals and space to be provided for Mo to still be able to score goals and eat off of what Nunes does based on his movement.
Fair enough. All right. So now we've got to the fun bit, Matt. You can let it bang now.
Let's go. Let's go.
Give me your name, brother.
Florian Wirtz. I understand he's got an ACL, but you want to know something? I'm believing it, brother. I've never come across a player in many years that kind of, I don't want to say he reminds me of KDB because he doesn't. KDB is more of a midfield general, but Florian Wirtz for me has that attacking nous where he can spot a pass, he can score a goal. Now, this is all saying that he comes back from his ACL and, he's all good. But I genuinely feel if he comes back to how I think he will be, I genuinely feel like Florian Wirtz is a name we should be looking for. He is when I say he's a baller, Cal, Andrew, he is a baller.
Oh, yeah. What about that?
No, bro. When I say he levels. I'm talking like Bayern Munich report.
To me, bro.
Bruv, reportedly...
I wanted him and he got an ACL, bruv. I know what he's about,
It's because of you, then. But
and
no,
it actually
like,
happened. I'm not gonna lie, it literally happened like that.
And-
We was talking
and
about it in the
here's the
group,
thing.
and then we got the we got the
Verts.
news report.
Verts is kind of tenacious as well, and I feel like Verts could be molded into more of a CM. So, yes, he's not going to be that defensive player, but he'll give you enough defensive pressure where he can contribute. But when it comes to the attacking thing, oh my gosh, bruv, Florian Verts, bro. I can't lie to you. He's the first person. Like, I'm talking, Liverpool should be putting in a bid now. Okay, it's a bit silly, but as soon as he recovers, yeah, big man, come over. Like, you step over to Anfield. He, for me, will be serious, bro. Can't lie to you.
All right. Drift, your name, brother.
Kimmich.
You know my thing, fam. You know my thing. You know my thing, fam.
And what annoys me is that we're not a ballsy enough club to try and get it done. And that
No.
really annoys me.
No. Remember,
Don't put out on the club, Drift.
don't say that. Don't say that. You know what it is?
If we really tried,
We wait
there's
for
a possibility we
opportunities.
could
If
get
there's
it.
an
Hold on, man.
opportunity that is,
Let me spin it.
Yeah.
If Bayern Munich came in for Trent, what would your reaction be?
Get the fuck out of here.
All right, then. Cool.
But because I know that don't get me wrong, I get it. He's German. He's a Bayern boy. I get it.
Nowhere, brother.
But I do believe with what's going on at Bayern Munich, there's just something that tells me it's not all right, though.
What
Like,
is signing
honestly,
Mane? What do you
it's
mean
not
they're
all-
happy?
but it's different from Mane because no, I don't mean as in like they're financially in problem or anything. I mean it just seems like maybe the players at the club are like bored. It's maybe getting a bit stale. Maybe
I
they don't
hear
like
that,
the
maybe.
manager situation. Like, it doesn't
Müller
look
doesn't
all
seem like-
But
rosy.
you picked the one of the most German
Gnabry wants to go.
Germans.
Gnabry wants to go. Sane's not happy. Lewandowski wants to go.
Bro.
It don't seem right
But
at Bayern
you've
Munich
picked
at the
one of the
moment.
most German Germans.
Yeah,
Like,
I know I have.
Bro, do you know what it is?
I know I have.
If
But-
he had a car, he will bleed Bayern Munich's flag out of his wrist.
yeah, I know.
Look at them ones there.
So let me be more realistic then.
Yeah, go on.
He doesn't quite fit the mold in terms of I don't think his defensive qualities are as good as I would want it to be for a box-to-box player. But after doing my due diligence on him, Paqueta would be unbelievable.
I ain't got no problems with that, you know. I ain't got no problems.
Unbelievable.
Ain't got no
Again,
problems.
he's very tenacious and very good at winning the ball back in a press. I don't think he'd be as good at defending. But
What? He put it in a shift, bro. He put it in a shift.
No. That's what I'm saying. But so you see, like a genie who's wonderful at winning the ball back. I don't think he'd be able to do that. But as you said, he's very tenacious and very hardworking. So I think he would be good enough at winning the ball back. With obviously Thiago and Flacco obviously trying to win the ball back as well. But you see, once we're in possession, bro, if we have Paqueta driving with the ball from our half to their half with the attack.
That type of energy right there.
Bro,
yeah, that energy right
bro,
there.
That type of energy there. Yo, I can't lie. Shout out to John for putting man onto him. I've been doing hella research on this guy for the last few weeks, yeah. He's strong, he's powerful, he's skillful, he's quick, his ball retention. Bruv, I'm not gonna lie. John hit the nail on the fucking head. Paqueta in our midfield with Thiago and Flacco would be disgusting. It would actually be the type of midfield that shouldn't even be allowed to be. There's too much sauce, too much everything. It would be, oh man. And then what, with the front three with Salah, Diaz, and Nunes up front as well? Guys, I don't think that would be fair on anyone if I'm being completely honest with you. But with Trent whipping in the cross,
I like Paqueta. I do like him. There's something about him. There is something about Paqueta. I'll be honest.
And you know who it would have been if it wasn't him? But he's already gone. It would have been Bruno, you know.
Bruno?
Actually, yeah, bruv. I think even if it went Newcastle, I think he would be so
Bruno
perfect.
Gomares.
Not Fernandes.
Oh yeah,
No.
do you know
where my brain went to? For some reason, my brain went to even when you said that, it just makes no sense. My brain went to Basuma. I don't even know why.
Okay. Now remember, we only claim one Bruno now. There's only one real Bruno in the Prem. You see the way Bruno plays. Yeah. He would have been so perfect with Thiago and Flacco in the midfield, you know. Oh my days.
I've got
Like,
three
obviously,
names.
it's done
Do you know
now,
what?
isn't it?
I'm gonna be real. I'm waiting for us to be linked to Paqueta tomorrow. See how drift that says a name.
Yeah.
You wait till tomorrow. All you'll see is this: Liverpool have agreed a fee with Leon for Lucas Paqueta for 48 million or something. I don't know, bro.
I've got three names.
Who have you got?
One wild card shout.
Yeah.
One shout that I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm basing off YouTube highlights. And
I've got a YouTube highlights guy.
Everyone's got one though. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got Fabio Vieira as one.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna say him. Yeah.
Our YouTube highlights guy might even be the same, Carl.
Matthias Nunes.
I
my
knew
YouTube
you was
highlights
gonna-
guy.
Oh,
I know, but I knew it, bro.
man,
Right,
what are you saying? What, Brazil
looks
Brazil
like
scout.
he knows.
Hey,
No.
yeah.
So we all did the same thing, yeah? We all
Yeah,
did the
he
same thing. Tell us, does he
different.
not look like a baller?
He looks,
Bro.
He looks
He
exactly.
is 6 foot. No, but what's so mad is, but that's what the
Yeah.
description. It says 6 foot, and I was like, and he can run like that.
He looks to me like Vieira, but a bit quicker. So to me, I would say
A
that
bit.
would mean he would be better in the Prem. Do you get what I'm
Bro,
saying? Like,
he's like a 6 foot Kovacic.
yeah. Nunes
Yeah.
looks like a problem.
Bro,
Yeah.
he's different.
nah, he
I
does.
can't even lie,
I've got to
bro.
hold my hands up. We're all G's for that. That was straight YouTube scouting, but I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
lie.
That was
He
straight.
looked-
We're
he
literally
looks
who?
good, man.
Mateus
Yeah,
Nunes?
yeah.
Yeah. Go on
He
YouTube.
looks good. He looks good. His ball carrying skills are brilliant. He looks good, man.
Matters,
I'm not
bro,
gonna lie.
matters.
And my third person is Ryan Shirky.
Yeah, you spoke. That's
Yeah,
interesting because
yeah.
Shirky for me. Well, how would you describe
Two-footed.
Shirky actually? No, but in terms of, is he more attacking?
Bad
Is he
man, that's what
more?
I'd call him, bro.
Cool.
Like,
Say now. Say
ball
now.
retention, shooting with both feet, creativity with both feet, crossing with both feet, set pieces. The only thing mentally.
Oh, okay.
But if Klopp can get him at this age, I think we turn him into wine.
Who would you rather get out of Shirky and so Woo, hold on. That went down the wrong way, so I could see.
Get down.
And every time that happens to me, I remember when Cal was like, no, Jeff, it's true. There is actually this hole in the air pipe where the thing could go down.
I just wanted to see from Friday. I don't even know why.
Oh, man. Matt's boy, sorry.
Florian Wirtz. All right, why just clean his throat? Florian Wirtz.
Yeah, Wirtz or Shirky.
Or
Who would-
Shirky. Yeah. Florian Wirtz
You
or
can't see
Shirky.
it all? Huh? You can see though, right?
I'm legally blind. I can see barely.
I'm gonna hit up these super chats here, bro.
So that means you don't.
You don't know.
I mean,
This is
I'm
Cal
not-
right now.
As no, I promise, like, and even it's been a weird these past few months, and knowing out.
You got Stormzy as well.
You know,
I
when
don't
he
want-
says, you know how relatable he says when he says these past few months. Literally, bro. These past few months. Yeah, that's you know what? That literally is the one. That literally is the one. I can't make a
Cal
decision
right now.
on that, man.
You don't know. Yeah, and to be fair, but that's a good way of thinking it. Imagine that. If we was to get either of those players, bro. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Who would you rather get, Wirtz, Thingy, or Paqueta?
I mean, Florian.
Would it still be Wirtz, yeah?
For me, yeah.
I'm saying anyone. Who is it? Shirky, Wirtz, or Paqueta? Who would you rather
I don't
get?
even answer, so I don't need him in lead. I don't.
People in the chat, who would you want? So Wirtz, Paqueta, or who's your final choice, Cal? Your final choice out of the three you picked. You have to pick a final one.
All right,
Come on, bro.
I'll go Nunes then.
Nunes. So Nunes, Paqueta, or Florian Wirtz. Who are you picking, people in the comment? Well, in the comments, in the live chat, but in the comments as well. Let us know.
I say we got Paqueta or we got Nunes, yeah.
Oi, Jamrock said Wirtz. Oi, that means. Oi, you know what?
How did we get to a point where there's
Jamrock,
just so
I like
much
that.
sauce, so much samba? so much. Like, how did we even get to that point? Do you remember when we'd never even had a Brazilian before we got
Bro,
Lucas?
sorry, this is a harsh comment, you know. Drake says, "Cal, you curse everything." Harsh, man. Like, I try and live good life.
The
The good
person's
way
name
still,
is
like.
Drake as well. That's what kills it.
I said I'm just a problem for economic disasters and all these things. Like, it's a bold statement, Drake. Right, let me help these supers. Razor says Basuma and Gravenberch for a combined 50 mil. I know. That's
I know. We saw. I know.
Yeah. And Gravenberch looked hella happy in that Bayern Munich signing as well.
They got my
John Bay. That pick was 8 years ago. Oh, the wedding pick.
Oh, okay. Oh, man's done a full stretch now. Then still, congrats.
That's a gun and 3 bullets. Math says, forget the context. When the ball's at their feet, do our midfield do the right thing more often than not? They don't, except Thiago. Fab got to step up also, in my opinion. I think Fab does the right thing more often.
I think he does, but I think Fab's
not in an attacking sense. I kind of agree with Math.
I think agree with that Super Jack. Otherwise, I'm not gonna lie.
I think Thiago needs to have a better variation of his passing because he's so good at long range passing. I think he does play it simple too much. I think maybe he could start doing a little bit better with his long range.
You mean Fabinho? You mean
Fabinho? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh no,
someone just said Hodgson was the peak of my judge. You know,
Hodgson was the peak of your judges.
Yeah. I just act like I just contextualized and just merged everything together for one superpower, you know.
No, man said Hodgson.
Man, was saying if you and me swapped on the quad thing, we would have won all 4, yeah?
Hodgson, bro.
Keeping distress says, hey, Drift, looks like Real Madrid are preparing for Jude Bellingham, 78 mil. This is good, not bad news. Klopp won't want to lose him. We move.
Yeah, especially after what Mo just told us. Somebody just make the move so we can just get in there.
Be real, Madrid's the last club on earth we want to make the move, though.
I hear that, but there's a slight part of me, don't call me stupid, there's a part of me that just believes that there's something in his soul that Bellingham himself wants to play for Liverpool.
No,
call me stupid, call me delusional, I don't know.
I agree
but something tells me he wants Liverpool. So no matter who it is that comes in for him, if we make the move, he picks us. That's what I believe anyway.
But can I just say something? Can I just say one thing? He's so young, he could effectively say, yeah, I'll go Real Madrid now and I'll go Liverpool later in my career. And another thing, Camavinga, Tchouaméni and Bellingham are madness.
Although I will put a slight rebuttal to that, Cal. That is a ridiculously stupid young midfield. And I wouldn't actually call that a good idea, regardless how talented the players are.
Yeah, no,
that's 19, 20, and 22. That is way too young for a midfield.
No, I hear that, but
way too young for a midfield.
Them 3 could extend Modric's career for another 4 years with the amount of running there.
I hear that. But if they had to play together, that is way too young of a midfield. Way too young of a midfield.
The boss said, glad Cal has forgiven me and allowed me to reunite my family. Boss, I still don't even know what happened, man. I genuinely don't know what happened between us. Kone and Nunes would be my bet. I'm like Kone, Jamrock, you know the thing. Wirtz would be 80 mil. He would be. I
don't care.
Change
it to a C, and then he's tied to Burnley. Remember,
Jamrock, we need Wirtz. Don't worry about the money, bro. Don't worry about the money. We need Wirtz.
Mateus Nunes would be a madness.
Bro, Wirtz.
Our midfield would be sorted. Any formation you want, go 3-6-1 and we're good.
And do you want to know what? Do you want to know what fills me with a lot of confidence with regards to a possibility of that Nunes link being true? It's because I was watching The Guardian. I think it's The Guardian. They've got a YouTube channel. Big up, because I've discovered them. No, is it The Independent? I think it might be one of those papers has got because you know Maddock does a podcast now.
Yeah, Dave Maddock. Yeah.
And I was watching it yesterday, and Maddock was explaining that Ward has mad hella links in Portugal. Like that's his shit, basically, yeah. So when it comes to anybody we're now linked with who's Portuguese or from the Portugal league, it could legitimately be factual. Plus Mendes and Ward are like this, and he actually gets him involved even if he's not his client.
Pep Linders too.
Oh
Tottenham
yeah,
and
I forgot Linda's as well. Yeah.
Tottenham and Liverpool were allegedly quoted 125 mil pre-ACL for Wirtz. 125.
It never would have happened, General.
Hold on,
Never.
but Matt,
No
what I
one would
will
have
say
played.
is German teams get money for their players, bro.
Yeah, they
Havertz.
do. Yeah, they do, but no one was gonna pay that. They would definitely. I could almost know for certain they would definitely not have to. They might have been quoted that, but they'll never pay that. There's a difference. I think that's probably what they really wanted, but I don't think it would have been that personally. That's just me personally.
That does that. Even Dembele didn't
Because
go
even
for that.
like Kai Havertz was Kai Havertz like not was it 80, 90 for Kai Havertz in the end or something like that?
90,
Yeah, I think they would have looked for something along those lines because remember Kai Havertz was doing bits. So
yeah, he's a star boy there. Shout out to Grace as always with a super sticker. Much
big up,
appreciated, Grace.
Big up, Grace.
Right, so we can all agree we all want a centre midfielder. I'm gonna ask the hard question now. If we don't sign a centre midfielder, but all of our midfielders stay, apart from Ox, I'd say, can we win? Or no, not can we, because we can. Will we win the league or Champions League?
No.
We'll struggle.
I can't see us winning anything if the exact same midfield has to go and try and do it again. I don't.
I think we're
That
struggling.
Champions League final should have been a massive eye opener to if one or two players aren't fully fit, the big games were always going to fall short.
You lot know how much I rate this team and how shameless I am with how much I rate this team. I can't see us doing it. A year older as well.
Exactly.
Can't see
And
it.
let's keep it a buck. I'm putting no like shade on the situation, but Henderson and Naby's injuries this season was almost an anomaly in terms of how brilliantly the physios and everybody kept them fit. A year older, what's the chances of that happening again as well? So we'd also have to worry about being players down during the season as well as the performance levels of the players. So I would, and obviously Thiago was all, you always know it's a 50-50 with Thiago. So I would be, do you know what? It is negligent more than nearly every summer we've been negligent if we don't strengthen midfield. Like I remember we didn't buy a left back, we haven't bought a right midfielder. All the little things we've done that have been very negligent, didn't buy a centre back, all those little things, this might be as negligent as we've been if we go into this new season and we don't buy. Remember, because we're losing Ox, so that's already a player going. Milner's a year older, Henderson's a year older. Naby obviously could get injured at any time. Thiago's injury problem. It'd be the most negligent. We still haven't replaced Wijnaldum either. It would be so negligent. Oh my God, it'd actually be stupid. I'd actually lose a bit of faith in the scouting team that we say is so brilliant. If they think, yeah, all right, let's go into the season with no other midfielders. It would be the dumbest decision we've ever made.
Yeah. Mr. Sinclair says, morning, my three kings. Big up yourself, Mr. Sinclair. In relation to the midfield, we need to stop losing 2-0 leads, control. Keeping in mind, we have scored 147 goals. Woke up at 4 a.m.
Right.
Big up
down,
Bless, bro. The boss says that 1 point behind, we behind City a few times is De Bruyne. He's a monster, let's be honest. Liverpool till I die, though.
No, you're fact, bro. Fact. You take De Bruyne out of Man City's midfield this season, and we win the league. So yeah, that's fact.
100%.
I don't like using that though, because you could argue and turn around and say you take Salah out of our team and we ain't.
No, but I mean, as in what he's saying is true though. The difference in them winning the league was De Bruyne. It actually was literally the amount of clutch goals he scored.
Ward was the head of analysis and technical scouting for the Portuguese Football Federation in 2008. Klopp
that's true. Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. Yeah.
We say Mateus Nunes and Nunes combining. Yeah, Nunes for Nunes.
Apparently, what I've heard though, he's been linked with Wolves, Newcastle, and someone else.
Man United.
Us. Is it Man United?
The Wolves link is legit. The Man United one is like I think their name just, but the Wolves one is legit, Matt. It's 100%.
One thing I will say about us, which is kind of different, is that anyone that's been linked to a player, just know We are circling. Like, don't be surprised if we're the ones that we hijack. Because I can't lie to you, the Darwin Núñez one, whether people like it or not, whether you agree with him or don't agree, we actually hijacked that deal. We were not in contention with Darwin Núñez at one point. It was Maynard, and then we just said, you know what, we want to get Darwin Núñez, and we just pushed in front.
Do you know about the Diaz one as well? You know, Ward hollered at Mendes and got Mendes involved to steal him from Tottenham.
Yeah.
Because he's not actually his agent, but he got him involved.
Yeah, but because he's a super agent, innit? Because he's a super agent, innit?
I'm not gonna lie, or maybe Vieira. Couple of the people we've been looking at are all from the Portuguese league, so I'm just saying, like, you never know.
Julian would definitely got
Have you seen the picture of Wall where he's holding the banister on the staircase in the Liverpool training complex? That's the smile that says, "Yeah, take me as I am, but I might switch on you." That's what that grin looked a bit sinister. I'm not gonna lie.
He's Charles Oliveira with glasses on. That's what he is. You'd walk past Charles Oliveira in the street and wouldn't even think twice, not think rip your limbs off with his bare hands. He's Charles Oliveira with glasses. But people, hope you've enjoyed the show. Again, big up to Mo who joined us at the beginning of the show. Definitely enjoyed that 100%. Insight. Hopefully we'll get him on again soon. We are going to be back on Friday, guys, unless there is any sort of breaking news between now and then. As always, like the video, subscribe please to the channel if you haven't already. We're on the road to 30k now. Also, even if you're watching it live, head in and drop a comment. Let us know who is the centre midfielder you want us to sign and why.
Indeed.
Chat here before we head off. The boss says, honestly, we're missing that special piece. We got energy, but missing that Gerrard or De Bruyne who guarantees facts.
Man.
If I could snap my fingers and do one thing football-wise, it's a prime Gerrard in this team.
Yeah, I can't lie.
And if you don't think I'm shameless now,
no, but we got to be honest. The prime Gerrard wins us all the games we didn't win this season.
Yeah, prime Gerrard.
That's not even people just saying things. It's not even a myth.
Like, ridiculous.
We don't lose that Real Madrid game. We don't draw the Man City game. We don't draw the Tottenham game. Like, we win those games if we've got prime Gerrard.
I'm gonna say if we have Gerrard in this team right now, I think we achieve over 110 points.
I think if we had Gerrard in this team right now, we could go a season unbeaten.
Yeah, 110 points.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I don't know about the 110 because there's only 115 available. That is a stretch, Cal.
Yeah,
140. That's a stretch.
I don't know about that because players just get naturally tired, but I think we could go unbeaten.
But Matt is right with the unbeaten. I think the unbeaten thing is definitely possible. Like,
4 draws is all we get with Gerrard in
this
team.
I generally think we could go unbeaten in all competitions, not just the Prem, all competitions.
And forget about us not scoring in finals because that was Gerrard's thing as well. Like, he'd make sure that.
Gerrard hits one from 30. What, you doing this low block thing? I'll pack it top corner from 30. Is what it is, bro. It is what it is, bro. Man will hit a rocket. You want to get in the way? Fair play, innit? Like,
the boss says, love Drifty and Matt. Enjoy Cal LOL. Right, that sounds like you're going to do me something. All right, cool.
No, it's more like I love Drift and Matt, but I enjoy Callum. Callum makes me laugh.
Fair dues. Nah, but people, nothing but love. Hope you enjoy the show. Until we're back, smash a like button, tell people about Kopish. Stay safe, stay blessed, and we will see you soon, people. Take care.
Peace.